Once dubbed the Chosen One, this player was supposed to take over the reins of Scump and be OpTic's next figurehead. Dylan Envoy found himself dropped at the end of the Cold War season, which shocked and upset fans all over the Call of Duty scene. But it wasn't the end for Envoy. In fact, it was just the start. This is the story of the Dark Prince of Call of Duty. In his early days, Envoy grew up on the outskirts of Chicago, and he started playing Call of Duty when he was just 8 years old. He knew he was good when he was dominating his dad's friends, but he just didn't know how good. But that all changed because his first ever event was UMG Dallas all the way back in 2015, where he eventually placed in the top 20. Starting to make a name for himself, Envoy had an unbelievable opportunity, because back in Advanced Warfare, Team Justice, which was Kenny, Assault, and Spacely, they actually came for Envoy's teammate, Cells. They asked Cells to be a part of their team, but he said no, and he in fact told them that they should look at his teammate Envoy. And with a relatively young team, they went on to have some decent success. They went on to place top 6 at the second biggest Call of Duty event of the year. But this is where Envoy's first huge heartbreak in the Call of Duty scene happened. And that's because Call of Duty made an age requirement to compete in the league, which was 18 plus. And at the time, Envoy was only 15, so it meant he basically had to watch others around him compete for 3 whole years while he just was on the sidelines. But he didn't spend those 3 years without any controversy. He was found out actually using mouse and keyboard to win online wagers. He was using a Zim, I believe is the name, and a lot of the pros, they didn't really like that at the time. Well, they still don't, but you get the point. And then the day had finally come when Envoy was 18 and he could compete again. But things didn't go as planned. He had 2 terrible World War II event placings, and he basically was proving all of his haters right. That he was just a mouse and keyboarder, he was just only good online, and he actually stopped competing for the rest of the year. With things not looking too great for Envoy, it all turned around in 2018. This is when Black Ops 4 came out. And Envoy started out the Black Ops 4 season with a bang. Way better than his World War II season. And honestly, he was part of probably the biggest what-if team in Call of Duty history. That team was Midnight Gaming, and they basically shocked everyone early on in Black Ops 4. Now, this does happen. There are teams that really aren't going to be that great, but they are faster to learn, or it's early in the game and they just have really good teamwork, blah, blah, blah. But this Midnight team was probably a top 3, top 4 team in the game early on, but they never really got to compete with one another. But Envoy got an opportunity because he joined Gen G. And honestly, they're probably one of the greatest rosters to never win a Call of Duty event. So while he didn't win any events in Black Ops 4, his team came second twice. And the 18-year-old Envoy had a fantastic season, taking home a very good amount of money. Hoping to get his first event win at the biggest event all year, COD Champs in Black Ops 4. Well, this was just another heartbreak for Envoy, because Gen G, which one of the best teams in the game at that time, didn't even make it out of pool play. And not only that, they didn't even win a single series. And this is a team that had multiple second place finishes. They couldn't show up. They didn't show up when pressure was at its highest, and they left COD Champs with a whopping $0 earned. But Envoy would quickly get over that heartbreak, because Call of Duty became franchised, and he was so good and he had so much potential, not only as a player but also a content creator. He was picked up by OpTic Chicago, or I should say the Chicago Huntsmen at the time, and they had a pretty decent year. Now, this is when COVID was happening, so there was a lot of online tournaments, but they did get 2 wins in Modern Warfare. But what became clear is how great Envoy was on camera. The OpTic fans loved his content on the OpTic channel, and he blew up as an individual creator. He became undroppable when COD moved to 4v4, not only for his skill, but also because of his personality. He had truly shaken off the hacker stigma that he had, and people just seemed to forget about his past. Cold War certainly didn't go the way the Green Wall expected to, though, especially with a roster as talented as Scump, Formal, Envoy, and Dashi, easily one of the most talented teams on paper. They just couldn't get the job done. And his next big Call of Duty heartbreak came with the lineup. Roll the clip.
He's gonna hit Xyz. Scump is just holding. Scump is just holding. Wins the fight. Accuracy, though, they line up. They line up for accuracy and he wins it. Are you kidding? Accuracy with the ice.
Despite poor results again, people loved Envoy on content and people assumed he would be the one to take over from Scump when the day finally came. But the heartbreaks just kept coming for Envoy because at the end of the Cold War season, surprisingly, Envoy was dropped from OpTic Gaming. And that's because OpTic merged with Envy at the time, or the Dallas Empire, and he didn't make the cut. And I'll be honest, it was a very emotional video when Envoy was just talking about not being on the team the Cold War season, and there weren't many dry eyes watching that OpTic video. But this is when things took a turn. For the better, of course. Since Envoy was now a free agent and he was out on the market, there were a lot of teams that wanted a player like him, a player that was very talented, a player that had a good personality, a player that could truly help a team become a dominant force. And this is where the Los Angeles Thieves stepped in. He joined a roster consisting of Draza, Kenny, Octane, and himself heading into Vanguard season. It looked like it could be another season of what if with Envoy as the Los Angeles Thieves started hot, but they just could not get it together to actually win a major. That was until Major 4 came around. LA Thieves dominated the event, getting Envoy his third ever event win in Call of Duty, but his first on LAN. Well, a true LAN setting, I should say. That wasn't enough though. Every Call of Duty pro dreams of winning one event, the most important event all year, Call of Duty Championships. Obviously, I've never won one. And for Envoy, that dream will become a reality as the LA Thieves were the only team to go back-to-back in Vanguard as they took home the big event. All the ups and downs in Envoy's career, the plethora of heartbreaks that he had in Call of Duty, none of it mattered. Or should I say, everything happened for a reason to put him in the right place at the right time. Because for him, well, this is the highest point in his career. The Dark Prince of Call of Duty is a world champion.